Good afternoon, everyone. Antarctic ice just keeps on expanding. Follow up on the British and U.S. submarines stuck in Arctic ice. A pictorial emerges from Defense Visual Information Distribution Service and Navy Currents magazine. They have 170 pictures of the ice exercise with them building runways, camps, trying to drill through the thick ice, which they never penetrated, runways, and they have some really heavy gear on that ice up there. Taking a look at the heat wave across North America and the North Pole at minus 23 degrees Celsius. And Ed Dames talking about the solar kill shot after a space station falls from Earth. Could that have been the China event that we saw just a few days ago? And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and click that bell so you can get the latest updates. So I wanted to start off here with the Antarctic ice extent expanding to nearly the 1981 to 2010 median. Now, instead of the world celebrating this fact, that the Antarctic ice is recovering near the average that we have seen, so it means that global warming has at least been pushed off or something has changed, that the ice is returning. Instead of celebrating this fact that our Earth seems to be repairing some at the poles, silence in the media. Why is this not on every single front page of the world's newspapers? I'll let you come up with your own conclusion why it's not. Let's go up to another media headline hype fest here. It's a heat wave in the Arctic. Well, it's probably a heat wave across North America too, because look at these plunging temperatures. Minus 23 degrees Celsius right at the North Pole. I clicked where the green circle is. And you can see how far that Arctic air mass in extremely below normal temperatures has pushed all the way down into the southern United States. Some places are 30 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than normal. And right up at the Canadian border, it's around 4 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. Now, I also wanted to touch back in on a story I did a few days ago about British and U.S. submarines stuck in the Arctic ice. This image here was from an older exercise that was cataloged and archived in Wikipedia. Now, it's interesting that two separate news networks and even the Navy themselves is using this image. So a subscriber of mine, thank you so much, wrote and told me, hey, there's all this other information out there about ICEX that you can access. I thank you for that link. Starting off here, the U.S. Navy themselves coming out, showing some images of their attack subs poking through the ice. It took them an extra 2 days to find areas to punch through because it is so thick, literally 6 meters thick out there. So then they have a link that directs you to Defense Visual Information Distribution Service, which is absolutely more than a handful of stories and on-the-ice conditions photographed by the U.S. Navy and British Navy during this 5-week exercise. Now keep in mind, these photos were taken on March 21st as they poked through the ice. There's 170 photos of what the ice conditions are like in the Beaufort Sea. So when you start to see the media saying that it melted the fastest it's ever melted and it reduced 25% in a single day, and then you compare it with all these U.S. Navy photos, really begs to question what the media is putting out there. Let's run through some of the gallery images here. They're stacked up and it just rolls on and on. They had a couple aurora as well. Shows life on the ice, how they're getting the camps ready for the exercise. Several different officers, petty officers enlisted, all taking images. So first what they did was they graded out runways up there so aircraft could land. This is the process here. They're starting to set up camp. This is on the Beaufort Sea. And remember, media was telling us the Beaufort Sea melted 25% in a single day. Lost 25% of the ice cover, and they were shattered on how quickly everything broke up. Well, this is the same area that the media told you that all the ice had just disappeared 25% in a single 24-hour period. So as we look out at the conditions, it looks like white desert, literally. It looks like something you would see in the Sahara Desert, yet we have snow dunes out there. Now here's one of the most interesting things I found, because I actually looked through all the photos. I'm really looking for this kind of information. So what they were doing was they were drilling boreholes through the ice. And where the sub had surfaced, was the thinnest area that they could find. So you can see the depth of the auger that they're trying to get down through the ice. They extend that all the way down, and they still never touched water. That's as deep as it went. They couldn't go any deeper with that auger, and no water was reached. So you have to think about, all right, that's at least 5 feet thick there. They're talking about Beaufort sea ice disappearing. Now to bring you on to something a little bit different and interesting, Ed Dames, remote viewer, talks about when the space station falls. Well, he said it was going to be forced down by meteors. But very clearly in their remote viewing group, it was specific as a mark in time that when a space station would fall to Earth and everybody across the planet would see it and it would be worldwide news headlines. Shortly after that, there would be a global EMP from a Carrington type event from our sun. They called it the solar Killshot. Now I've listed some of the videos here where you can actually watch their group of remote viewers and what they came up with, the findings. But it's really interesting that the same timelines they're putting up for the solar Killshot and loss of global agriculture comes right exactly around 2019 to 2020, the same time that is predicted now. Our global agriculture to start going offline due to the intensification of the grand solar minimum. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Spring will be here eventually.